This podcast is in support of a free Palestine. Links and resources will be in the description below.
We were shifting, sorry.
Yeah, sorry.
Whatever. Do you want me to shift you? What do they say in the shifting movie?
Yeah, I think I shifted my
her.
wife.
I shifted her.
Yeah, I shifted my wife. I shifted her. Oh my god. Hello and welcome back to the Shifting Rejects. This is episode 4. Your experiences are valid. We have a special guest today. Would our special guest like to introduce themselves?
Hi, I'm Hannah. I'm Haha Shifts on TikTok, and I've been shifting since, September of 2021.
Welcome. We are so excited to have you here today. This is a really exciting episode. We have lots to talk about. I think I kind of just want to ask, everyone, have you guys shifted before?
Yes.
Yes.
You guys have both shifted?
Yeah, have you shifted, Sandy?
I have shifted as well. When it comes to shifting, what do you think it means to you specifically? Like the act of shifting, I guess.
It's too hard a question.
Being able to have experiences I couldn't have here. Having a healthy body, having a good childhood, loving parents, magic, getting to travel without worrying about money, those things, just experiences I might not be able to have here is yeah.
Wow, you're so legit.
I mean, there's other reasons too, but ultimately when I've really sat down and come to it, it's I'm shifting for the actual experience of shifting and for the experiences that I just never could have here.
Yeah.
Wow, you're so much more profound than we are. I love it.
No.
Caitlin, why are you shifting? What does shifting mean to you, Caitlin?
Same.
There's no wrong answers.
There isn't, but I don't have words.
I'm shifting to go make out with my boyfriend. So I don't know.
That's kind of
yeah.
See, that's where I was gonna go, but then I was like, oh wow, Hannah's is so
That's because I specifically tied my shifting journey to my healing journey. So
yeah,
that's how I've gone about my shifting journey. Yeah. I started how you started.
We switched.
Look.
Yes.
Look. I'm proud of why I'm shifting. I'm in love, but also magic.
Yeah.
It's the other reason.
Well, okay. I feel like, I'm very passionate about this band. So I just want to experience life with them. I just want to know.
That's having an experience. That's literally wanting to shift for an experience.
Yeah, that's it.
That's so true. That's so true. No, I agree.
Getting to make out with your boyfriend is also shifting for an experience.
That's an experience.
That is an experience.
A really good one from what I've heard you talk about. I've listened to the podcasts.
Oh.
I know exactly who you're referring to.
Something riding on broomsticks.
No. She's referring
Literally.
to. I feel like my main shift, I literally made out with my boyfriend. That's what I did, and then I shifted back. Bye. So, can you guys tell us, maybe starting with Hannah, what was your first time shifting? What was it like? Maybe if you want to share your first experience, what happened, how did you feel, what did you hear, just maybe whatever you're comfortable with sharing the first time that you shifted.
This is actually the first time writing it down, was today, writing it down for this, and I am shocked at how many details I still remember from this first shift, but it was 8 months into my shifting journey, and I shifted to an alt reality. So I woke up in my bedroom and immediately noticed that things were different because I was not wearing a sleep mask, my blinds were not up and I had no curtains. And there was this weird piece of cardboard blocking what would be like an alleyway behind my like apartment because my window was on ground level. And the first thought was like, yeah, you put that there for a dog run so you could just let your dogs out your window and not have to walk them every day because you're lazy. And I was like, makes sense. And then I saw a bunch of rainbow flower pots outside and I was like, I kill every plant. What? Those aren't mine. Hold on. Wait a second. And I sat up and I looked down and my girl dog sounded different. She sounded like she had a higher pitch bark. She had a lemon collar on, which was hilarious. And then I was like, okay, these are my dogs. This is all normal, whatever. Walked to the bathroom, did my normal morning routine, went to my kitchen and noticed that my whole apartment was way upgraded. Like so much, like I was living in the ghetto. It was a really nice apartment, but it was my same apartment. And I had a kitchen table with matching chairs. I had a coffee pot. And at the time I didn't know how to use a coffee pot. That's embarrassing, but facts. But I made coffee in a coffee pot and I logged onto my work computer, put on a conference call, and then went to my spare room to fold laundry, thinking about like a work trip I had in 2 days and how annoyed I was that I had to go on it. And then I sat down for another conference call and was watching the news on my second screen. And they were talking about how gas prices in my area were going to be $5.61 by the end of June. And I said, $5.61? That's crazy. I wonder if I should get Walmart Plus to get groceries delivered because it's not worth the gas prices at this point. And I said, Walmart Plus, the gas prices would never be this much. Wait a second. And I like really took stock of what was all happening. And I was like, this is not where I'm from. This is not my reality. Oh my God, I shifted. Wait a second. What's my time ratio? How long have I been gone? And then I shifted back.
Did you intend to shift there?
Yes. No, I didn't intend to shift there. I was just, it was unintended. Yeah, I was trying to shift to the MCU and I wound up there instead. I was like several years younger.
Crazy.
I was 24, 25. I had a completely different aesthetic. It was like light blues and whites everywhere. My hair was brown with caramel highlights. I had a wolf cut split down the middle. Like it was very jarring looking in a mirror and like seeing a preppy version of myself.
Can I just
but yeah, that was
the amount of detail that you remember from this is like actually insanity. Like
no, what really hit me was the stupid piece of cardboard that I had used because the end of it had been ripped out. So you know how the inside of cardboard has like the perforated, like weird textures? That was the first thing I saw when I really like opened my eyes and processed what was happening. And that's kind of what like made me realize I had shifted, was the perforated parts. Cause I was like, I would never see this kind of thing in a dream. Like I cannot see, I have aphantasia. Like I don't see pictures in my head when I try to imagine things. My dreams are usually no images involved. So it was unmistakable, except that I didn't believe it was a shift. I told my fiance at the time about it when I woke up, and he was like, that sounds like what you've been describing shifting as. And I was like, no, I'm sure that's not what that was. And then I had like 3 other...
You're like gaslighting yourself into thinking that you didn't experience what you just experienced.
No, 100% genuinely. And I had to talk to like 3 other people and then a shift talker who had been shifting for a while. And I explained it to them. They're like, you have so many details, girl, you shifted. And I was like, okay, I guess I did shift. That's so exciting.
It's such a weird like thing where you're like trying to gaslight yourself out of thinking you shifted. And then when you actually sit down and think about it, you're like, no, yeah, I fully shifted. And it's almost like you wish in the moment you believed it instantly that you did, because it's like, oh darn, well that's how I feel personally. I'm like, I wish I would have just trusted trusted myself a little bit more in the moment, you know?
Yeah, that's how every other shift has gone so far for me. Has been like that, where I'm in it and I think things are different. And then I register they're different. And I even think, did I shift? And then my brain's like, no, you've been here this whole time. And I'm like, you're right. I have been here this whole time. And I just go around until I like go to sleep or I think about this reality and come back, and it's infuriating, but awesome at the same time. Be grateful for what I can get. That was 8 months into my shifting journey. So June like 3rd or June 6th of 2022.
That's so cool. That's amazing.
And I still remember all of those details. So it really,
that's awesome.
How about you, Caitlin?
Oh God.
I've never heard this. I'm really
Yeah,
excited.
never heard this. Okay, this was my first shift, like before I even knew what shifting was, and it was many years ago. Honestly, don't even know what year it was, but I shifted. I used to like imagine myself being in 5 Seconds of Summer, like full on, just imagined I was in the band. And shifting is as simple as that. You could just picture it and you're there. So I was like in my room, and then I wasn't. I was on stage. And I was performing End Up Here with them. And I was in, like, I remember I have all the memories still. I was in a love triangle with Ashton and Luke.
Shut up, Luke. Lukey.
Yeah. But I was like, it was very clear to everybody that I was not in love with Luke. And like, we would write songs. We would all write songs about each other. Like, I have them all written down in my notes. What songs that are by Five Sloths that are like written by me and Ashton, or me and Luke, or like stuff like that. But we were performing, and I kept like looking back at Ashton, and like Luke would like side eye us, like. But then I wasn't there anymore. And I, for so long, thought it was a dream. And then when I learned about shifting, I was like, oh,
How did you
that's what that was, because that was so real. It was real. Because that was a real life.
But like, what were you telling yourself? What were you telling yourself for so long to try and make like yourself think that
because
it was a dream?
I lucid dream all the time. I've always been able to lucid dream. So I was just like, it's a lucid dream. But I was like, that was a really real lucid dream.
The most realistic lucid dream of your whole life.
Well, I did that with like my first actual shift. Even after learning about shifting, I still was like, oh, that was just a lucid dream. There's no shot I did that. Like, there's no shot I actually did that.
I feel like that's such a common like occurrence of like after the first like shift, and you're like, I shifted, but no, I didn't.
Yes.
Couldn't have.
100%.
Couldn't.
Well, and then do you ever just, you're sitting there and you're like, wait, why am I not freaking out about this more? I literally, like, last night I was in a different reality.
Yep.
That's crazy.
Like, how do we do that? How are we just okay with it? We just like go on with our day.
I mean, some days it's like hard to. You're kind of just like,
yeah.
You start spiraling a little bit. You're like,
well, and it like, or you just stare up into the ceiling and you're like, I need to go back right now. Like, how did that just happen? And now I'm here, and now like I need to go. I need to shift right now.
Yeah. Well, Sandy, tell us about yours. Put your wand down.
I feel like my first shift was after a long time that I had been trying to shift. It was in, and I just wrote this down. So, because I don't remember, but I remember it was in 2022. Let me pull this up really quick. Okay, so my first shift was to my Stranger Things / Hawkins DR, and it was in 2022 in August. So at the end of August, it was like either like the last day of August or like the first day of September of 2022, because I had been trying to shift to this DR since May. And I was really into lucid dreaming at the time. I was like, I'm going to perfect my lucid dreaming skills, which I did. And I was having a lot of lucid dreams where I was like trying to shift through portals or doors, or I was just like in lucid dreams, having a fun time. Like, I remember I had this one, not to get off track, about like I wanted to go to Disneyland. So I would just like, I'd be like in the dream, I'd become lucid, and I'd be like, Disneyland, and then I would like be like, oh, now I want to go here, now I go here, and I was into lucid dreaming a lot around this time. So I remember wanting to shift, and I think what I did was I did like the Julia method or something beforehand, and before I was like going to sleep, I fell asleep, and then I woke up around like 4 o'clock in the morning, and I just was like, you know what, I'm gonna try and shift right now. Whatever. And I tried to shift, and I can't remember exactly if the lucid dream came before or after my shift, but I'm almost like 99.9% sure it was before my shift, because I remember I fell into this lucid dream where I was like in Hawkins, but it was like everyone looked like a knockoff version of themselves. And like my CR parents were in there, my like uncle was in my dream, and they all had like distorted faces and stuff. It was just really weird. And I was like, this is really odd. And I just don't like this. It was like the winter festival that's in my DR as well, but in my dream, and everything was like misplaced and like weird. And I was like lucid, and I became more and more lucid. And I remember seeing like a portal or a door or something. And I was like, I think I like created it. And I went through it. And the next thing I know, I remember like turning to my left a little bit because my ears started ringing. And this happens every single time I've ever shifted, but my ears started ringing to the point of like loud ringing where I had to like cup my ears, and I like twisted to my left. And the next thing I know, I'm like opening my eyes. I'm like a little bit foggy, and I'm like looking around, and I am not in my CR room. I am in my Stranger Things bedroom, and I'm like looking around, and I'm trying to like ground myself, I guess. I don't really know, but I started touching everything. I started touching like the sheets. I started touching the clothes that I was wearing. I started touching like my hair, the wall, literally everything. I just started touching everything to try and like make myself aware that I was there. And because instantly I knew that it was my Stranger Things bedroom because it looked like how I imagined it to look like.
Yeah.
And what is so crazy is that I looked over to my right, and I saw this like yellow clothing item next to me. And I had scripted, because I had scripted the sweater, a Steve sweater, into this like he wears it all the time type of thing. Like I wear it, he wear it. Anyways, this is the whole thing. But I looked over, and I literally was like, I think in that moment I felt really scared. I was like, oh my God, what is that? What is that? And then I just heard him say, are you okay? And I was like, and I didn't look. I didn't want to look. I didn't want to like, I literally didn't want to make contact. I was just like this, like so scared. And he was like, are you okay? Like, and I was like, what? And I was still a little bit like disoriented, like almost that like I had woken up from like a nightmare or something, I felt like. And next thing I know, he like grabbed me and I went, and then we started making out. And then I don't even know how to explain it because it happened within like 5-10 seconds of me like kissing him to shifting back. And then I literally shifted back, opened my eyes instantly, and I was in my CR room. And I was like, no. No. And I stayed awake the rest of the morning, I think, because I was just like, I cannot believe this just happened. And I remember I was in a group chat at the time, and I had told them about it. And I was like, I don't know like what this was, but like,
You kissed my boyfriend?
I'm sorry. No.
I'm just kidding. That one wasn't mine. That one was yours.
Yeah.
But now I'm getting like red, and I'm like blushing because whenever
No, that's what happens. No, girl. That's so awesome though.
It's awesome, but then you like this
That
happened
being your
almost,
first shift though is crazy.
No, yeah.
that's why
Genuinely.
that's why it was so crazy, because whenever I think about it now, I'm just like, yeah, that happened, and like I still cannot believe that happened, and I don't like thinking about it a lot because look at me, I'm turning red and getting nervous and getting hot, and I'm just like, I cannot believe that happened.
Mateo's in the
dying a
corner.
little bit
He's
on this.
so mad right now, Sandy.
Yeah, I can't talk about anyone else, or Mateo is gonna kill me. That is my first time shifting, and it was kind of surreal. Like it felt very surreal. But like I know that I was only in my DR for maybe like 30 seconds to a minute, and I know a lot of the times people consider that a mini shift. And the term mini shift is like very widely used. A lot of people have different, definitions of what mini shifting is. So I don't know. I kind of just wanted to ask you guys personally, like on your personal opinions, how do you feel about the term mini shift? If you want to explain like your personal definition of it, and maybe go through any experiences you've had that you'd consider mini shifting.
Hannah, you can go ahead. I vaguely
Okay,
I
I will say I feel really strongly about mini shifts, so let me talk about this.
Okay.
So I I think a mini shift is having one or more senses, or thinking that you had one or more senses, but you're just not positive. Whereas a shift is, no, I was definitely there. Even if I wasn't grounded, I was there. So what you had, I would consider a shift. But if I like am trying to shift and I hear, like, I've heard Killian run through my door, are you here, Hannah? And I was like, what was that? And I sat up and I looked around and I was in my reality and I was like, no,
Yeah.
this is all normal. That's what I consider a mini shift.
That actually makes a lot of sense. And
Yeah.
she kind of made that make more sense than what I said last episode.
Yeah, but I
mine
want to
was-
hear you. I want to hear you say yours, because I really like the way that Hannah explained that, and then I'll get into mine as well because I differ.
I
both.
think it's like if you don't open your eyes. But like,
Oh, that's a good one too.
That's just me like simplifying it for myself, though. I'm not taking away from the fact that you shifted, because either way you did shift. But it's like, it's just easier for me to be like, oh, I mini shifted because I didn't open my eyes.
See, that was my opinion on it until I had my first grounded shift to Once Upon a Time, and I just didn't open my eyes. But it was the one time I was 100% fully grounded, aware, making the decisions. And I was like, I have to redo my definition of mini shifts now, because I was there even if I hadn't opened my eyes, because it was the most intense shift I've had my whole journey still to this date. Just
crazy. I mean, I like both of your definitions, and I honestly can agree with both. I just don't like the term mini shift. I don't use it because personally, like, and this is just a personal thing, is when I say mini shift, it takes away from how like that I shifted. So I have a lot of shifts. Like, I've shifted quite a bit of times, but if I were to call most of them mini shifts, I feel like it would make me feel like, oh, well, I haven't shifted a lot of times, when in truth I have. That's just me personally, though.
No, I think the term mini shift is what is going to make the most sense to you. I like classifying it as, if I'm not 100% sure, it could be if I couldn't be 100% sure it was a shift, if there's any doubt in my mind that maybe something else could have been going on, I'll call it a mini shift, because I'm not 100%. But like, that's because that's how I differentiated them for myself, because I don't know, the few shifts I've had where I was there, even if they're ungrounded, because I feel like the majority of ones I have are ungrounded now.
Same.
Yeah, those are still so much different. Right. Honestly.
Like, why does that happen? Like,
I don't know, because I've been trying to figure this out. I even got to the point, like, I shifted to a waiting room I made as a joke. And I shifted there that same night, and I literally looked at myself in the mirror and said, no, this is wrong. This is all wrong. And I did reality checks. And I was like, no, my reality checks are passing. And my higher self was like, you shifted to your waiting room. And I'm like, hooray, I'm so glad. And I'm like, so I'm going to go shift. And they're like, or you could go manifest for this reality and forget everything that you're going to do once you enter this room. And I was like, I guess I'll do that instead. And that's exactly what I did. 6 hours. I was in my waiting room for 6 hours, and I only remember 30 minutes of it.
You saying
because I wasn't grounded.
You saying that just literally triggered something in my brain, and now I have to think about what it is, because, oh my God, this is going to bother me. Hannah, I'm concussed, by the way. I probably should have said that at the beginning of the...
No, you're totally fine. I have memory issues. Like, you never need to apologize. Don't you worry about it.
No, she's like actually has a concussion, though.
No, I know. That's, yeah.
Because you just said something, and it triggered something in my brain. Oh my God. You said something about your higher self saying when you get there, you're going to remember to shift, but then you got there and you didn't, and you just were not grounded. Yeah. I've had something like that before, and I'll probably think about it later, but I've had something extremely similar to that. And I remember when I like woke up or like shifted back or whatever happened, I was so angry.
Yes. My first thought, my higher self was like, why are you angry? You manifested for this reality, so it'll be easier for you to shift later. And I'm like, I had the 50-50 shot of shifting when I was there. That was the whole point of this reality, is that I had a genuine 50-50 shot of shifting. And then my brain is like, no, let's go script for this reality, manifest some stuff, because you need some chill time in your life. You don't need to go experience your reality. And I'm like, no, I want to experience my DR though. My higher self said, no, not right now, not the time.
Why do we have to listen to them? We don't have to listen to
them.
Oh, that's so funny. Um, so what would you consider, like, I guess going, like, segueing away from mini shifting, what would you then, and I think you, both of you touched on this, but like, what would you consider like a full shift, like actually like fully shifting somewhere? I guess you kind of
If
talked on
I,
that a little bit, but
yeah, if I was
Anything opening
100%,
my eyes.
yeah, open your eyes, yeah. I'll say I differentiate because it's like if I was 100% sure that I was there, and if time moves the way that it does here. Because the one thing I've determined from because I didn't used to have lucid dreams, and then last year I started having them because I'm focusing on shifting. So I feel like that's just kind of coming in par with it.
yeah.
And even in lucid dreams, or even like really vivid dreams, even though if I'm living like days or years in them, time isn't actually moving the same as it does here. Whereas in my shifts that I've had, time moves exactly. There's no just like me being in my bedroom and then all of a sudden I'm in the living room. No, I walked every step into the living room.
Yeah,
I moved the curtains myself out of the way. Like,
I love your attention to detail. That like
I know, she's amazing.
Yeah,
I think this is why I haven't shifted to my DR yet, is because I wanted to be able to have this level of detail with my shifting journey because it was really important for me. But that also means that it's taking me longer.
They call it a journey for a reason. I can't believe it.
Exactly. Genuinely, though.
I mean, it's true. Like, everyone has their own pace, but the thing that I wanted to say is, like, you're so right, though, because I literally just had a lucid dream the other night. It's crazy. It was a crazy dream, but it was like the time, like,
I love that dream.
1 second, it was like, oh, it was the first day I was in this place, and then the next, like, then it was like a week later, like literally the second after, you know what I mean? So time doesn't move correctly in lucid dreams, and you can definitely differentiate that from why are you laughing? Why are you laughing?
This is making me want to cry. This is making me want to cry. I'm getting like, I feel crazy right now, but like in a good way.
But yeah, it's true because it, like, I had this dream, and I think like the dream itself, like, maybe, what did I say, Caitlin? Like 3 to 6 months had passed or something like that. 3 months, something like that.
Yeah.
In the dream, but it was like 1 second I was like, I don't know how to say this without like saying the contents of the dream, but like 1 second we were in an apocalypse, and then the next, like a week later we were starting at knockoff Hogwarts, like, and then like a week went later and I'm like in Mateo's dorm room. I don't know what's going on. Like, and then 3 months pass, and wow, it's apocalypse again. But time didn't actually pass. It just kept jumping forward. But yeah, that's how I would differentiate it as well. And then having like all your 5 senses, you just, and I hate this when people say this, but you literally know when you shifted.
Yeah.
Like, you do know.
Yep. Every time it's happened, I have noticed, like, it is not just a like, oh, I noticed, and then my brain feeds me the memory that says, no, it's always been this way. Don't you remember? And I'm like, no, I do remember. So wait, but why is it different though? And then I just kind of like, yeah, whatever. And I just continue along until I come back.
Yeah. That's so cool. I feel like I've yet to experience a longer shift, and I like yearn for it, and I'm so nervous too.
My first shift was 3 hours, but what I remember is like a solid, I've given you all the details, but in reality, like I really remember a solid like 26 straight minutes of my life being there. I know I was there for 3 hours. Yeah. My waiting room shift, I was there for 6 hours, but I only remembered about 30 minutes of it. And like grounded, like I was the one making the decisions, you know, and I remember every detail of it. But my Once Upon a Time shift was only for like maybe 5 seconds, and that still to this day is the most impactful shift I've had. I had a shift where I was in my room. Literally.
No, and it makes sense too. It literally makes sense too. Like, I get it.
Yeah,
I'm having a crisis right now. Thinking about it.
You're having a crisis because this is bringing up things.
Yeah, I feel.
Do you feel validated a little bit?
I do. I feel great right
now. Good. You really should. Your experiences are valid.
Exactly. Oh, wow. That was great. That was so good. I love it. Okay, so I know that like Hannah and I had said that our memories are not great, but segueing into DR memories or desired reality memories, this is actually how me and Hannah, if you remember, we like talked about this. This is how we met on
Yeah.
TikTok. Yeah. And I love DR memories. I fully believe in them, but I kind of want your guys' opinions on if you believe that you can receive memories from a DR or, any personal experiences you've had receiving memories, like maybe talking about how they come to you. I don't know if that like makes sense, but like how you receive them, what they feel like, and maybe even share some DR memory stories. I think that could be pretty fun. Hannah, if you want to start off, I love hearing you talk.
Oh, you want to okay, it's going to be me. Okay. I like to say I'm the self-proclaimed DR memory queen because I get them every day. I basically get a DR memory like every single day at this point, and I live for that. I live it. I live for it. So yes, I believe in DR memories. And my thought process on this is because time doesn't really exist. So if all time is happening at the same time and you're connected to it, your DR, that's why you get your DR memories.
Yes.
Mic drop. It doesn't need any more explanation. Period.
You're
so
amazing. I'm having a great time.
Thanks. This is so fun. I'm really enjoying being here, honestly. I love talking shifting. I love talking about the things that some people like to not believe happens, or worse, I feel like a lot of people just get gaslit out of their own experiences.
Oh my God. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. They really do.
The way me and Sammy have these conversations all the time.
Yes. So I like to scream from the rooftops. If you get DR memories, you get DR memories. You can, it's possible, you can do it. Like, don't gaslight yourself. It's good.
It is literally so possible. And like, I also received, I think like, I don't want to jump too far in. I also believe in DR memories, and I have some like stories to tell. But like, what are your thoughts, Caitlin?
I get them all the time.
Yeah, I know you get them all the time. I don't know.
I get them all the time. They kind of just like randomly will go like, ding.
Yep.
That's pretty much it. Or if I really want to know something specific, I'll meditate on it.
I was about to say I used to.
It's usually just like a little ding.
And I used to use meditation. Me and Caitlin channel. I don't know if you know what that means, but
yeah, I do too.
Yeah, we channel.
Oh my God.
Cool. So that's like meditation is a way, like if I want to receive stuff, that's how I will. But I do also just have memories that same as you, Caitlin. Bing, they're there. I'm like, oh my God, what the hell? Like, whoa, I just remember this whole week of what my GR self was doing.
Yeah.
So crazy. Do you have any like stories you want to tell, or or DR memories in particular? Because I have a couple funny ones.
I have so many. I feel like somebody else should go.
I really don't want to. I don't want to.
Oh, you don't want to?
I don't want to.
That's fair.
My main DR, I don't want to talk about it online. But
that's also fair.
My supernatural DR though, I have really sad memories mostly. Which those I also just don't think I want to talk about.
Yeah, I just thought of one that I'm not also going to talk about online, but I do have a couple I want to share.
Share away.
So I like wrote them down a little bit just so I can remember them. For my supernatural DR, I have this one where I was driving Dean's Impala, and it was like no one was on the road. Okay, literally no one was on the road. It was like this road in the Midwest. No one was there. Okay, but I don't really know why I decided to drive it. I think I was like going to like the gas station, or I was gonna grab something, and I get in the car, and I remember driving it, and I accidentally like hit the gas pedal way too fast, and I crashed the car into one of those yellow like yield signs or something, and I am now never allowed to drive that car ever again. And if you could have seen the look on Dean's face because him and Sam came running from like behind, because I barely pulled out of the motel parking lot. Like I barely pulled out. It wasn't even that far. And they came running down. He literally opened the car door and like was like this, give me the keys. He didn't say anything. he basically just, and yeah, never allowed to drive that car ever again. Because any other memory I've gotten, I'm always in the backseat. Always. Always.
That's so real. Well, every time you bring it up, I can feel his anger like through
He's
me.
mad. Like, mad. Like, the mad where you don't
Yeah.
say anything.
That's his
Wow, he's just like
baby.
me.
Yeah, it is. It is. And I kind of feel horrible. But then I had a really sweet one about how we were at the aquarium. This is like one of my favorite DR memories I ever have received ever. But we were at the aquarium and it was like it was just me, Dee, and Sam. But Sam was looking at like this, do you know those aquariums where, or that part of the aquarium where it's inside and it's like almost like a dome shape and it's like the water goes around,
Yeah.
like glass goes around everywhere. So it was one of those. And Sam was like trying to look at this like map to like look for where we're gonna go in the aquarium, and he looked really dorky. But I was like looking at this. It was a beluga whale, I think. Yeah, a beluga whale. And I was just like looking at it, and I just like put my hand on the glass, and then like Dean put his hand over my hand, and we kind of just looked at each other. And it was like, that's when I knew, like, that's when like things changed for us. And I remember getting that DR memory and just sobbing because I was like, that is the moment. Like, and I knew it in my chest. I knew it in my, like, and that was one of the ones that I got while I was meditating. And it literally just like got swiped into my memory. And it just felt like it like all came in at once. And that was a really cool one I got. I have a couple a lot for my Stranger Things DR. They're all bad. So like they're all like negative.
Yeah.
There's no positive memories.
No.
Just one when
Man.
I have a good one when Steve like came to my door and it was raining outside and he like apologized to me for something he had done and then we like kissed or whatever. But most of them are sad. Like I have a memory of like the night that like Steve and Nancy hooked up and I was kind of just like sitting out by Steve's pool drinking a beer and I started like bawling my eyes out and staring at them hooking up in the window. And I was like, I can't say that on this podcast, but I wanted to do something so heinous. I was like, I'm so mad right now. And then literally after that, like after that day, it was like the next day I got a memory of my mom like consoling me while I cry. Oh, Nancy's my sister. And she came down she was like running down the stairs like a little fucking brat. And she was like, I didn't do anything wrong. And like we were screaming at each other. And like, yeah, it was like insane. Oh, I have one where this one was so funny. I don't even know where this came from. It just like came into my memory one day, but I punched Billy in the face. And he deserved it.
As you should.
And
yes, as you should.
As you should.
He deserved that really badly. Like I hate him. But yeah, those are all like compiled of DR memories. And then I also literally scripted my newest DR based off of channeled memories.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It was fun. That one's weird. That one's a weird DR. I don't know if I'm going to shift there.
DR.
I don't know if I'm going to shift there. I just know that this reality now exists, but we'll see.
That's how I am with some of mine. It's like I script it because I know I like exist there, but I'm not planning on shifting there. Mm-hmm. So
that's how I really feel about this one. It's like I don't even know how to explain it. It's like I don't know how to explain it. Like me and Tom Blythe, like if you know who Tom Blythe is, but
yeah,
it was like we were together in like the 1930s/40s. I don't know exactly, but like he went off to war, and when he went off to war, we were still like together writing letters, whatever. But then when he came back, we wanted to be together forever. And then Catherine Pierce from the Vampire Diaries shows up, turns us into vampires. And now like that's pretty much all I know. What's the other thing that I channeled from? Oh, he's a fucking like, so he what did he do? Caitlin, I forgot what he did. What did he do? Oh, yeah. He like I resent him. I'm like not happy with him because he feels that like in this like day and age, I don't know if it's like 2009 or like it's in the early 2000s, but like once we like lived all this life, he feels like we're in debt to her for giving us our like forever life or whatever. And so he's done a lot of like not good things in honor of her, and like I think we're on the outs right now currently if I were to shift that reality in the current state, but that's all I know. Anyways, thank you for letting me ramble.
Welcome. I love
you
hearing
brought
people
up
talk about their DRs.
yes,
So
it's beautiful and amazing. You made me remember, if you saw my little freak out randomly, you made me remember a terrible memory.
Oh no. Oh. Okay.
I think I will talk about this one because I do need to get it out there. I also feel like I have a certain friend online that would love to hear this and make fun of me for it.
I know the friend.
But there's a lot of lore with Ashton and Harry Styles' sister. And like here. And I don't want to talk about it.
I'm gonna put that song, Caitlin. I'm gonna put that song on the TikTok.
If you do, I will cry. Please don't. I
Just
can't listen to that song, genuinely. I can't listen to it anymore. It's slowly gotten harder to listen to. I have 5 Sauce Dice in my car, and it has the name of the song, and I literally turn it away from me. I can't look at it. But anyways, I was in New York, and I was like scrolling on my phone, and a headline popped up of that happening. And like, I was just, it's kind of how I feel right now. I feel really sick to my stomach. I don't want to think about it. I don't want to look at it.
You know, if that happened, like, okay.
I need to script that out.
Yeah, I was going to say, now that you're aware of that is a memory.
Yeah, script it out.
Don't shift to that reality.
Well, I love that song, and his solo's so good in it. I'll make it about me. That song's about me now.
Wait, so you hooked up with Harry Styles' sister?
Sure. No, that's not what I'm saying.
Give me 1 second.
Man, I have very little bad memories. I get mostly really pretty decent ones.
Good for you.
Maybe it's because of how I script. Like, I'm so careful about so many things because I made the silly mistake of deciding to align this with my healing journey and my spiritual journey. So that means I actually have to do work. And that means I have to be careful where I go. So I straight up, my most negative memory I have is telling Killian he needs to get therapy and we can't be together until he does that. I couldn't even be friends with him until he does that because he has some issues he needs to work through. And he does, and he's fantastic. And I love him so much. It's a really big problem, honestly. And I think I'm actually shifting to season 2, episode 1, right after the curse breaks. So I'm gonna meet him a lot sooner than I thought I was. I'm meeting him potentially my first night shifting there. And the memory that I got of what happens the first time I meet him is kind of crazy. I thought it was a scenario until I got it so many times and was oh no, this was a memory. This is actually gonna happen to me. Okay, awesome. Fantastic.
Isn't that
kind of
that's crazy?
Huh?
You could talk about it if you want to.
Oh, I totally will talk about it. So my main DR is Once Upon a Time, and I'm Killian Jones is my love person there. He's my person, my human. Sorry, this is really awkward. I don't know why this is so embarrassing to talk about. So we meet, and let me just say that the first time that I see him, I'm the one who discovers him. And in the show, he is pretending to be a hidden villager or something. I'm the one who finds him, and I didn't script that. Didn't think it was going to happen. That was a memory. And I find him. I'm oh, there you are. I've been looking for you. Because I am me, and that's exactly what I would do. And then when we're going towards the beanstalk in the show, they just go straight from this whole little debacle to going to the beanstalk. There's a lot of walking. We have to spend a whole night camping. And he is a part of that. And Emma and Snow pass out really early. Mulan and Aurora are watching camp, and I lay my little bed mat out where I can see the stars, because the stars in a different realm I could lose my mind just looking at them all night long, and he comes over and he's can I lay my bedroll over here by yours? And I'm I don't, whatever, sure, fine. And he lays it so they're touching. So they're yoga mats, and it's literally touching mine. And I'm whatever. And we talk for a bit, and I admit that I find him attractive, but obviously I would never do anything with him. And then we go to sleep. And then I have this reoccurring nightmare that my DR self has, which I did not script. I accidentally shifted into that nightmare, and it was really weird.
Oh no.
Yeah. But I woke up from a horrible nightmare, and he woke up and he pulls me to him and I'm like, what are you doing? Like, people are going to see what's happening. I just met you. And he's like, I can tell you had a nightmare. I've also had nightmares. When I lost my hand, I get it. Go to sleep. You're going to need your rest for tomorrow. And I was like, you're supposed to be the bad guy. I'm not supposed to be fraternizing with you. I'm like half asleep. Why are you pulling me to you? And he's like, for just tonight, let's pretend it's just you and me and nobody else in any of the realms. And let me take care of you. I can tell nobody's taken care of you before. And I'm tired and delirious. And he cuddles me all night long. And then we wake up before, literally the first night I fucking meet him, dude. Oh my God. It's so, I don't know why I did this. I don't know why this memory happened. I don't know why my DR self decided to make these decisions, but she did. And we wake up before dawn and I'm like, did anybody see us? He's like, no, I kept you, like, I made sure nobody saw, just like I promised. And he's like, did the nightmares come back? And I was like, no, you kept them away just like you promised. And then we say nothing else about it. And then we climb up the beanstalk that same day. So
there's tears in my eyes.
literally, like, I had to get that memory 7 times to accept it was a memory and not just me having this weird fan fiction fantasy. But it actually happens. And that's just kind of how our relationships, and I still leave him on top of the beanstalk.
It's okay, it's okay.
You're just like us.
You're just like us.
Well, it makes it funny because all of this happens, and then another memory that I got, which is one of the mini shifts that I've had, I shifted into this like actually happening to me, is that he gets to Storybrooke at some point, and he sees me walking up to my apartment after a funeral of somebody who's not actually dead. And I go into my bathroom and he apparently followed me up and like comes into my apartment, like throws the door open, is like, Swan, are you there, Hannah? And I'm like, yes. What are you doing here? How did you get here? How did you find my house? Like, what is happening right now? Like, you're not even supposed to be here. I'm very confused. And so he tells me everything that's happening. We go to leave my apartment and we are literally magically locked in my apartment because of Cora putting a spell in my apartment because she thought there might be something between us. And so now we're stuck in my apartment, spell locked, for over 24 hours. All unscripted. I didn't script any of this.
What will they do?
I like the one bed trope. I just didn't think I would actually end up living it more than once. But, you know, whatever. It's fine. So there's... It literally, like, I have more that go along with that, but I will not get into it. But let's just say that he likes flustering me because he knows it works, and he's not nice about it, and I don't appreciate it. But I do also.
Like, I don't appreciate it, but like, yes, I do.
But like, yeah, no, it just keeps saying words at me. It's fine.
Oh my God.
I love that for you. That's awesome.
That's so funny. So yeah. And then I tell him to go get therapy. I still won't pursue a relationship because I'm like, you still have some issues, bro, and you need to work through it. Go get some therapy and come back to me. Luckily, he seems to be a quick healer. It only takes about a week, and we're talking again. So
it's amazing.
I know, literally. So
some therapy.
Just
kidding. He would like start like screaming and crying and then, like go away.
You want to cry? Like, I don't cry.
As he's crying.
I don't cry.
And I'll be like sitting there like this. Why? I'm
gonna make him cry. That's my new goal. I'm just kidding.
Don't make him cry, please.
I'm just kidding.
That is like great. You know what I think? Like, people who haven't heard about shifting listening to us, like, why wouldn't you believe after? Like,
literally, like, never in my wildest dreams could I ever come up with some of the random things. Like, I think I mentioned my intended reality with Loki earlier. I haven't been focusing on that DR since I started my Once Upon a Time DR at the end of May. And I got a random memory of me and Loki in a car, and I had insulted him and his like godlike abilities, I guess. And so apparently Loki has the ability to winnow, and he grabs my arm while we're driving on a road and winnows us to the top of Pikes Peak at like 11 p.m. at night. as we were driving on the road just to prove a point, and then winnows us back, and I'm shocked and freaked the fuck out. And he was like, so are you going to doubt me anymore? And I was like, nope, do whatever you want. No questions asked anymore. I will never doubt you again. Please don't ever do that. That was so scary. And the fact that their car was still driving when we came back in is even more terrifying. I will never doubt your abilities again. Please don't do that to me while we're in the car. Ever again, please. He made his point, and then he gets his mansion in the mountains. So
That is so funny.
You are blowing my mind.
I know, literally. I listened to you talk forever.
It's good. Like I said, I get memories all the time, and so like as somebody who doesn't like get visuals or anything, the fact that I get all of these so often and so much and in so much detail, I'm like, you cannot doubt shifting. You literally cannot. You can't doubt it. Like I couldn't come up with any of this if I tried. Like I specifically tried not to imagine scenarios for my DRs for this very reason.
Yeah.
Me and Caitlin
we were just talking about that too. Yeah.
Yeah, we don't like. There's not even one singular doubt in my brain about shifting, and
Same.
I think it helped not trying to create scenarios or try whatever. And I guess this is just a personal thing; it could help other people, but like ever since like not doing that and just like accepting the fact that I know that shifting is real. Hello, like, hey, my life is so great now, like this is so cool. But yeah, I really think that like people should listen to this and think like, wow, they like this is like, I don't know, if I never knew what shifting was and I listened to this podcast or listened to your podcast, Hannah, or anything that had to do with shifting and they talked about their experiences like this, I would literally be like, yeah, 100%. Like I like 100% want to do that, and I can. That's so cool.
Yep.
Just like segueing away from that, like a little bit, like not too much, but what realities have you shifted to? Like I know you just
I've shifted to 5 or 6 alt CRs now. I've kind of lost track on how many there are in there. I had my waiting room shift, which was to a waiting room that was exactly like this reality, but I had a genuine 50-50 shot of shifting, and I could manifest anything I wanted for this reality to make life easier for myself.
Oh, that's cool.
And I've shifted to Once Upon a Time. Now I've had many shifts, which based on how we've kind of talked, you would actually classify these as actual shifts. So these are ones that I know for sure I was in this other reality. And that's to Twilight against my will multiple times. The MCU, my intended reality with Loki. And then I don't like hardly ever talk about, I haven't talked about it on my page. I think I maybe talked about it on my story, but I actually shifted to Akatar before I had my shift to Once Upon a Time on accident. And I shifted to Under the Mountain right after the like thing with the worm, like my arm was messed up and I could hear music drifting down and I was in a lot of pain and my name was Feyre. No, it was not good, not fun. Is the only time I've ever used my safe word. But those are all the places I've shifted to.
That's crazy. You have shifted to a lot of places.
Yeah, all of them, like the Twilight, I honestly would consider an actual like shift because I literally like closed my eyes to shift and then immediately like had my eyes open and saw my hand putting it underneath a pillow that did not belong to me with sheets that didn't belong to me in a room that didn't belong to me. Mm-hmm. But like Twilight, MCU, intended reality. Yeah, Once Upon a Time. Lots of alt realities.
Mm-hmm. I have.
Do you ever have like
realities
like one-offs? Like I know maybe that's the same as alts, but like I mean, you were watching something the night before, and then you just shifted there. Have you ever had that type of experience?
Akatar was the only one that happened, and it was because I had just finished the book that night, and I had been reading it like nonstop for like 2 days straight, and then I accidentally shifted to Akatar. So,
how about you, Caitlin?
I have. Yeah. That's why I brought it up.
I know.
Have you seen the show The Ultimatum on Netflix?
Yeah.
Oh my god, I forgot about this.
Dude, I shifted to The Ultimatum after I finished, I think it's season 2. After I finished season 2, I shifted there. Really random. I was sitting by the pool talking to everybody, and I was dating Roxanne. I don't know if you saw season 2, but I was dating Roxanne. And I had like a bunch of, when I came back to my CR, I had all of the memories, like memories of dating her and like just I'm an apologist for her now. I love her with my whole heart. Just like when people are hating on her online, I literally get so defensive and angry.
Yeah.
I'm like, you need to stop. You don't understand her like I do. Like, you don't get it. And it's like, I would never shift there intentionally, but it is
Yeah.
cool that I had that random little experience.
Yeah.
That is
like,
cool.
But it was so weird because I was arguing with everybody like by the pool. And I was just like, you guys don't get her like I do. Like, you guys are just bullies.
No, that's actually so crazy. I remember when you shifted here.
No, it was crazy. I literally woke up. I was like, Sandy, I just shifted to the ultimatum. Don't know how that happened or why.
Where else have you shifted, Caitlin? I know you've shifted to a lot of places.
I could talk about my first shift after knowing about shifting. I don't think I talked about that. I shifted to Stranger Things. And
would you look at that?
Yeah, I don't script and I don't like think about things. And when I learned about shifting, I literally just like jumped right in and just intended to shift that night. And I did. And when I woke up, I was in my CR bedroom. But I was like looking around and I didn't have a TV. I didn't have my phone. I didn't have my Himalayan salt lamp. Like, it was just little things like that. I didn't have crystals and like my sheets were slightly torn. Like, it was just different. So that's how I was like, okay, well, this isn't normal. And I was still gaslighting myself while I was like looking around. I was like, okay, well, like I definitely didn't shift. Like, I'm definitely dreaming right now. But then I started hearing a dryer or like a wash machine. I don't know what it was, but it was broken. I could tell it was broken. It sounded so loud and annoying. And then I heard Joyce yelling for me for dinner. And then I laid down and I was like, nope. I'm good. Good night.
You're literally just like went away. You're like, not doing this. Bye. Can't do it.
Yeah, I tend to do that.
No, thank you. Same.
I do that a lot, actually.
When things get real, I'm out. Like, cannot do this right now.
I'll talk about the next one, actually.
Go ahead.
While we're here. This was like my first I call it a longer shift because it was one of the longest shifts I've ever had. I was probably there for like 5 to 10 minutes. But it's my Count of Monte Cristo DR. And I woke up in my bedroom on the ship. And I opened my eyes. I was looking around and I was like, I definitely shifted. Like, I shifted and I was grounded and I was great. I was like, okay, I'm doing this. Like, it's happening. And I started like touching everything, making sure everything was like reality checks, I guess.
Yeah.
And I was touching all of like I had golden trinkets all over my dresser. I was touching all of them and I was like remembering where I got each of them. And then I was like touching my bed and touching curtains and touching the tables around and everything. And then I looked in the corner and there was like a mirror and there was a dress form. Is that what they're called?
Like something you put underneath?
Yeah. Like no? I knew how to make clothing.
Okay, got
it.
And
I was like working on a robe.
Okay.
So I was working on a robe because my like half my project was sitting there. And then I was like, while I was touching my sheets, I was like, I made these. Like, I made my sheets. I made all my bedding. And that's why it was like way nicer than the rest of my stuff because I would like put it all together myself. So I was just walking around, feeling everything. And then I hear someone walking down the stairs and I was like looking through my bedroom door, which is like wooden pieces. And then there was this hole. And so I'm looking through the hole and I see boots walking down the stairs. I ran to my bed and I went to sleep.
You said no.
Actually, I'm good. Actually, I don't know if that's my SO in this reality, so I'm going to go to bed because I'm not ready for that. I'm not ready to see him. Hard pass.
Literally, yeah, I know that feeling. I know
it's
that
too
feeling.
scary.
I want to shift. and be alone.
Yeah, I
Sorry.
need to have a couple hours alone and then I'll be good.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the problem I've had every single time I've shifted is that like there's someone there and to like so that's why I like specifically told myself that when but that's not actually true. I told
No, it
myself.
can feel normal. Sometimes it feels
Mhm.
really normal.
Well, okay, so
Gonna
I
have a crisis right
consider my
now.
stranger I consider the time I shifted my Stranger Things DR my first shift. Like I really, really do. But I had an experience prior to that. I had multiple things, but like nothing like of
Mhm.
prominence, like nothing of prominence that I like really remember, except for this time. It was in 2020, and it was right before I took a break from shifting for like a year. Like I didn't shift or try to shift. I didn't think about shifting for like a whole entire year because of what happened this time is like I did the Raven method. Woohoo, it was so fun. But I was taking a nap in like a different part of my house in a different bed that's not my bed. So I think it helped me like I don't know in a way like detach from this reality. But I remember just doing the method, and the next thing I know, it feels like I'm falling down like a black hole, and I hear Hermione and Ron say something about Sandy. They were like something Sandy, and then I heard a train. And I don't live where there's any trains. And so I like shot up like this and I was like I don't like that and I'm never doing it again. And then I literally took a break for a year and I didn't even think about shifting until I had wanted to shift to my Stranger Things DR. And even before that first shift, I did have this like weird experience. It was not a lucid dream, it wasn't a dream, and it wasn't a shift. I have no idea what it was, but it was the first attempt I had in about a year. I laid down and I was just pretty much affirming that I wanted to like shift to Stranger Things, and it was almost like, and this is the way I've been describing it because this is the best way that I could explain it, is like if you put on a virtual reality like goggles or whatever, and it's like you are there, but you know that you're not. So it's like one dimension, not one dimension. It's like a wall in between the reality and not the reality. And I
Mhm.
had like this experience when I was shifting where every single noise out, maybe I was like in the void or somewhere in between. I don't really know, but it was like all of my surroundings and everything I was listening to in my current reality were gone. And then I was like inputted in like a virtual reality video game where I'm looking at everyone. Like it was Dustin, 11, Max, and I want to say Lucas. And they were all just like, I was in my kitchen and I was sitting on a chair and they were like snapping in my face like this and like talking about me and being like, what is wrong with her? What is wrong with her? And then I like snapped out of it and I like came to and I instantly started hearing everything from my current reality. And I don't know what that was, but because it was not a shift, it was not a dream, and it was not a lucid dream. I don't know what it was. It was really weird. And then after I shifted to my Stranger Things DR, I started getting even more like lucid dreams, and I would like almost every night try and shift through my lucid dreams. And then I shifted to my Sex Lives of College Girls DR shortly after this, and it was very like brief. I guess this is what you guys would consider like mini shifting, but like my eyes were closed and I heard a door open and late like my friend from my reality, her name is Layton. She was like, "Hey Sandy, are you up?" And then I like opened my eyes and I was here. And I was like, "Okay, that was definitely like not here."
Yeah.
And then I shifted to my supernatural DR. And this was like crazy because I think about the shift to this day. Um and it didn't happen that long ago, maybe like it was in the summer, this past summer, and I was spending the night at my brother's house, and me and my friend were watching Supernatural. We were watching season 1 of Supernatural on the TV, like to go to bed. I shift into like the like plot wise of season 3. So we're watching like season 1, whatever. We fall asleep. I wake up in the middle of the night. I'm on the couch at my brother's house. And there was like no one was awake, nothing. The TV was turned off. I went to the restroom and then I came back and I laid down and I was just like, just gonna try and shift. And so I like lay down and I try and shift, but I'm not really doing anything. I'm just like thinking about my DR. It almost feels like I get snapped like into somewhere in a way because I heard the ringing in my ears again and kind of like moved over to the left hand side, which is what that happens all the time. But basically what happened was I started to hear Dean and Sam talking. They were like fighting with each other, arguing with each other, and I'm like literally have my eyes closed and I'm like laying down like this and I'm like, "Oh my god, why is the TV on? Like it wasn't on just a second ago." And they're like yelling at each other. I'm trying to ignore it. And then they started talking about something and they were like, blah, 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 blah. And they're like yelling at each other. And I'm like, wait, wasn't I watching season 1 last night? This is all from season 3. And they start progressively like getting louder and angrier at each other. And right when I realized I had shifted, I was like, oh my God. I was like, I'm in my DR. And then I opened my eyes and I'm not. And I literally was in my current reality. It was pitch dark outside. No TV was on. Everyone was asleep in the house. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, I literally was just there. And that was really cool. I really liked that shift. And then I had a few others after I shifted to my like new Hogwarts DR, the one where Mateo is in. Um it wasn't like too crazy or anything, but like it was like I was coming in and out of it, in and out, in and out, in and out, and I like felt all my surroundings change. I heard like things in my DR room move, and then I have this window behind my bed. It's like a circular glass window, and I heard like rain droplets on the window behind me, and then I heard Mateo call me Cinderella, and then I don't know, and then I was here. So those are like all my prominent shifts. I have like other things from other DRs where it's like someone touched me or I heard someone talk. Remember, I shifted to Stranger Things that one time. You remember, Caitlin, where like we were in Eddie's, like not in Eddie's garage. I was in someone's garage and like Eddie and everyone was playing like the drums and they're like having band practice or something. Do you remember that? Eddie was like playing I don't know what he was doing, but all I know is like the instruments were playing and people were talking about their band. And Eddie said something and then I don't know. But all of them pretty much I've had my eyes closed except for one. So those are my experiences.
Listen to you talk about your experiences all day. You've also been places.
With my eyes closed.
It counts. You were in a whole ass other reality, even if your eyes were closed.
I try and tell myself that all the time, and I know that. It's just so it's kind of,
I know.
It's like a sucky feeling because it's like when I shifted my Stranger Things DR, I was literally opened my eyes, felt everything, heard everything. I had all my senses, and now it's like all my other shifts have been like my eyes are closed, but I like can feel, see, hear, smell everything. Or, you know, oh, I did shift to my CRDR. It was like have this DR where like it's still like everything's normal here. I just work on the Yellow Jackets like set in LA. My room, this I opened my eyes in. My room was completely different. It was super large. It was like not in my house. It was like in an apartment, but my room was like ginormous. My bed was different. Like my blinds were different. Like everything was different. So I did have that experience as well. I forgot about that one.
Okay. Similar to Sandy, I also had a supernatural shift where I was in the back of the Impala and heard them yelling at each other. But mine was kind of scary, and I do want to meditate on it because I'm kind of curious what was happening, and I don't want to shift to that moment if it was scary. But I was laying in the back and like I couldn't open my eyes, and it felt like someone was covering my eyes. And my theory is that it was Cass doing it, like he was like holding my eyes shut. But like I want to know why. But I heard Sam and Dean yelling at each other in the front seat.
Why do they always yell at each other?
I don't know, but like,
brothers.
why were my eyes covered and why couldn't I open them? Like that just sounds scary to me. It sounds very ominous. I don't like it.
I'm sure you could meditate on it.
I need to. But my latest shift, and I just refused to even attempt to shift since this because it was just it was I'm gonna freak out talking about it. I was having a lucid dream And it had nothing to do with any of my DRs at all. I was just dreaming like about my roommates, actually. It was a lucid dream about my roommates. And I looked at myself in the mirror, which you're not supposed to do apparently in dreams, but I looked at myself in the mirror and I was like, I could shift right now. And so I did. And I was suddenly in my main DR, and I was in like mine and Ashton's vacation house. He was on break from tour and he was like writing. So we were in his vacation writing house, whatever you want to call it. And I can see it all perfectly, the whole layout of everything. And it felt so natural. I didn't even feel like I didn't freak out at all. I didn't feel any negative emotion. I just was like, without thinking, started walking down the hall and I was like, Ashton, I'm having a crisis. And I walked into our bedroom and he was standing there. I could see him perfectly. I could see exactly what he's wearing. And I just hugged him and he towers over me, but I laid my head on his chest and he like had his head on my head and we were just hugging and he was like, are you okay? And I was like, yeah. Hello?
Round of applause. That is a great shift.
No kidding.
No, it was the craziest thing I've ever experienced in my entire life. And it's so weird because I can still like, if I ever came across the cologne he was wearing, I would buy it because I can still smell it and I can still like feel what it felt like. Too bad the audience can't see me having a literal breakdown right now.
I know.
It was so comforting. I think my higher self knew I just needed a hug from him in that moment. And that was it. Then I was here and I was very disappointed that I was here. I don't even know how I got back. I just appeared back in my bed and I was like, that sucks.
It's okay. You're going to shift there again tonight.
Yep.
Real soon.
I just like
right now.
won't. I don't know if you guys do this, but like I can't, after I have that type of experience, it's hard for me to try again because I get very like, what if it doesn't happen? And then I'm just going to be disappointed.
Yeah.
Yep. That's kind of how I felt like.
Now.
Yeah. That's how I felt recently after that lucid dream I had. And I'm like, oh, I want to shift to my Hogwarts DR immediately. But now I'm like, I don't know. I'm like scared and I'm like nervous and yeah. Not scared as in like I don't want to be there and like I don't want to like be with the people I want to be with, but it's more so like I'm just like scared of disappointment in a way. Can't believe I said that out loud.
No, that's how you work through
you know
those
what I
things.
mean? Like I'm just scared of disappointment. Yeah, I'm just scared of like being there and being like, oh my God, and then experiencing all these things and then shifting back here and being like sad or disappointed about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I also get scared that I'm like not gonna want to come back, and then what?
Yeah, that was my worry with shifting to my my intended reality. I was afraid that Loki would ask me not to shift out. He'd ask me to stay because he knows about shifting, and I would tell him about it because I was a shifter there too. And I was like, I definitely want to come back. I don't want to not come back. That took me like 4 months of working through to get over.
It's hard. And like, I was just telling Caitlin about this in like the previous episode is like, I'm going to tell Mateo about shifting. I don't know if he's going to take me seriously, but
I think Ashton shifts currently.
I do too. I literally think Ashton shifts in this reality.
He does. He does.
No, I like really believe
There's too many signs. Also, his sister's like actively on Draco Talk.
Oh, like, so yeah, 100%.
So yeah, right?
I want to say it's so funny because Benjamin Wadsworth literally also knows about Harry Potter Talk and Draco Talk and like all the stuff. I'm pretty sure he knows about shifting too.
We know Alec Benjamin does, so.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he made Shift Talk videos. He was like, I see that my videos are on this thing called Shift Talk, and then he made a couple of jokes about it on his TikTok. And it was like, yes, he found us. Good.
Yes, I am aware of
That's
that actually.
crazy.
Hey,
I
at
didn't know
least
that.
like they don't say negative things about it. Like,
No, he didn't say anything negative. He was like,
yeah,
"Oh, I see you guys like my music. Like, here's some more. This one's for all the shifters out there." I think he made a video saying, "If you use this song, you'll shift tonight," or something like that. And I was like, "You're killing
That's
me,
such a
bro.
good
You're
way to
killing me."
promote.
that literally is such a good way to promote.
It is
Wait,
genuinely.
we should do that, guys. If you listen to this podcast,
No, we're gonna be like those tarot readers on TikTok that are like and subscribe, and then save the
like
video.
the video to claim.
So annoying.
This will only come true if you're following me.
Yeah, literally. Okay,
So
listen. I do want to talk about my Once Upon a Time shift. Just the one. It's the only one I'm going to talk about because it was my most grounded shift, and it just like it really floored me. So I was trying to shift my Once Upon a Time DR, and I actually I wasn't. I had tried to shift that night, and then in the middle of the night I woke up because I was cold, and I cuddled up to my husband and threw my legs over him, and just thought briefly, how funny would it be, or how cool would it be to like be in my DR right now? And then all of a sudden, I was in a completely different like position. My husband, who I just threw my legs over, I was basically on top of him, was no longer there. And I reached my hands out, like trying to feel him, and I was like feeling on my bed sheets, and I was like, no, there's nobody else in here but me. It's just me. And then I did like a check-in from the tip of my head to the very bottom of my toes, and just like I can feel everything. And then I got hit with the biggest urge to pee I've ever had in my whole life. Like I was very convinced I was going to pee my pants. And I panicked because I didn't know what was happening. I hadn't really put together that I was shifting because I hadn't thought about it. I just had like the passing thought as I was like sleepily repositioning. And I was really afraid that I was going to wet my plants on my husband because I just threw my legs over him. And I was like, how awful would that be? I can't do that. And then I shifted back. But while I was there for the 3 to 5 seconds, I got like 5 days to like 9 days worth of memories all in that like couple of seconds.
that's crazy.
And if I had just gotten up to go to the bathroom, because I drank tea before bed in my DR and I had fallen asleep and not peed before bed, I would have just been in my DR. But no.
Why does that happen?
If that happens next time, I'm just
No,
gonna
why
pee. And
does
if I
that
pee my pants, then it's just the price we have to pay, I guess. Sorry.
Why does that happen though? Because that literally is so like such an annoying, like especially when you shift back and you're hearing, you're like, what the fuck? Like,
No, I literally got up to go to the bathroom. My bladder was empty. I didn't need to go to the bathroom. There was nothing. There was no reason for me to panic. It was.
oh my
So
God.
the key to shifting is to pee yourself.
No, I was gonna say the key to shifting is to be dehydrated.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's not drinking water. It's just
No.
be dehydrated.
Don't drink your water at all.
Grab my water bottle.
Oh my God.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna be
that's such a
parched while I go to bed tonight.
parched.
Literally.
That's such an annoying feeling, and I can definitely feel like I can feel your energy of what you felt when you shifted back, because like that is, I just would be pissed. I would be so mad.
This is so crazy, so exciting. I was so excited because this was the first time that I was like, this was not a mini shift. I didn't open my eyes, but this was not a mini shift. Like I was 100% physically in another reality, the DR of my choosing, in fact. Got all of my memories. I was just her, and I just had to pee. And if I had just not overthought it and just stood up, it would have been fine. And I didn't. And that was the only grounded shift I've had there to this date. And that was last June. Now, I will say that when I was filming, me and Artemis were filming for our podcast, and at the end of the first episode of the new season that we're filming, I shifted awake, like while we were talking with my eyes open, like got visuals, like I started seeing an overlay of my DR that should not have been there because I was actively filming a podcast. And then behind everything that was happening, all of a sudden Killian Jones was there, and I was standing in the enchanted forest, and I had just become the dark one, and we were having a very heated conversation. I started bawling my eyes out, and then I like focused back on Artemis. Was like, I'm so sorry, I think something weird is happening right now. And that made me lose it. And I was like, I was in my DR. I was physically with my eyes open, just like we're talking right now. Just there. Why would that happen? Why did that happen to me?
Sandy,
That's
I didn't shift.
crazy.
But yeah, those are the two shifts I've had to my Once Upon a Time reality that were like full on solid. I was 100% there for a second. And it was awesome, but mad.
It's
I
amazing.
think we're all gonna shift tonight because of all of this. Like,
Yeah,
talking
this
about
is
all of
very
this.
motivating.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Caitlin. Okay, I wanted
Yes.
Caitlin to share this because she's been talking about sharing this for like a month about your mom's shifting experience, right?
I would love to. We grew up very big Harry Potter fans and would like have monthly, like week-long marathons where we watch one a day for like a week straight. And she just would get this nightmare, or she had this nightmare one night. And once I told her about shifting, she was like, Caitlin, I think I shifted. Like, that's what that was. That explains it perfectly what happened. And after this happened, she could not watch the movies anymore. When I say Voldemort, she freaks out. She can't handle it. She can't hear me say it. She can't watch the movies he's in where they show him. She can't watch them. Basically, she was forced to marry him and like birth his child. I think that's what it was. And she remembers having to walk down the aisle and like having to stand up there in front of everybody with him. And when she woke up, she was like freaking out about it. She was describing it as this terrible nightmare. But then, yeah, once I talked to her about shifting the first time, she was like, I shifted because, and I totally believe that because she cannot and is so triggered by Voldemort now. Like, she can't handle it.
Your poor mom.
I feel so bad for her. I'm like, that was your first shifting experience. And I like try to tell her, I'm like, you can shift, you can do whatever you want. And she's like, no, I'm too scared to. Which is so valid because of what she experienced.
Yeah.
Dude. That's scary.
That's her little story. I did get her permission to say it online.
Yeah. My mom shifted too last year.
Really?
She went to like this. Yeah, she went to she's so funny. She went to this sound bath thing with her friends. So it was like a sound bath meditation. And she comes home and she was like, that was really fun. You should try it. And I was like, did you like have any weird experiences? I hear that like when in sound bath meditations, it's really easy to like detach from like your body and get into a higher meditation. And she's like, yeah, I did. So I started seeing all of these like twinkling lights. And then next thing I know, I'm talking to Rick and Michonne. And I was like, what? And then she was like, yeah, like I was in The Walking Dead and I was talking to Rick and Michonne. And I was like, what do you mean? And she was like, well, like, I mean, like, I was like standing next to them and I was talking to them. And I was like, no, but like, I like a dream, or like, did you just like imagine it? And she was like, no, like, I was like with Rick and Michonne and we were like talking and, you know, coming up with like some sort of plan, or I don't really know. I would have to ask her the details of it again. But, and I was like, so are you telling me you were like there? And she was like, yeah, I was like, I was there. And I was like everything was tangible. Did it like feel real? And she was like, yeah, no, yes, I was there. And I was like, okay, you shifted. And it was before I shifted. I was pissed. I was so mad. But I was like, that's crazy. That is so crazy. I've had also like other people, like this person I know that I don't want to say on the internet, they're really into like meditation and like astral projection and like all the stuff. And I talked to them about shifting and they were like, oh yeah, that's real. And they're like 45. And so like it made me feel really validated because I'm like, I love that older people also shift. Like it makes me feel good, you know?
Yeah.
So
I feel like that's a common fear for all adult shifters. It's like reaffirming seeing people who are older shifting, because that's just reaffirming to you that you're not just like some childish person doing Delulu stuff. Like you are in fact like just allowed to experience things because just to have the experiences.
Yeah, exactly.
I
Caitlin's.
also had a shift before I knew about shifting. I won't talk about it though, but I did have a shift before I knew about shifting. And the way that as soon as I found out about shifting, I was like, oh, that makes this entire thing that I had make a lot more sense. Like I carried trauma from this dream I thought I had, and it ended up being a shift. And I was like, oh, shifting just made a lot of things make sense for me personally.
Me, same here. Like, I feel like once I found out about shifting and once I like instantly, like the day or the day after that I like learned about it, I was like, wow, this is like meant for me. Like this
Yep.
makes so much sense in my life. Um, and I think Caitlin also, I know she's just hanging out with Loki now, but I think that she has said that also
He's
that's how she
screaming,
feels
sorry.
too. It's okay. That's okay.
Yes.
Like, I don't know. I feel like you find shifting for a reason. And I know that a lot of people don't quite understand that, or, you know, people can say what they want to about shifting, but it doesn't affect us. And I feel like
Mm-mm.
every single shifter who found shifting, they found it for a reason. And
100%.
whether that be to just shift for fun, or that it helps you in your current reality, or that it gives you like an outlet to be able to shift to a different reality where, you know, you have better circumstances in your life. Like, I just know that everyone found it for a reason.
Yep. And
And
everybody's reason is different and still valid.
Yep.
valid. Exactly.
You can shift for whatever,
I'm
like you can just shift to shift.
exactly. Agreed. Is there anything you guys do differently now after having shifted versus what you did pre-shifted? And I guess what I mean by that is like when you go to shift, is there anything you did before having shifted like that you don't do now? Does that make sense?
Yeah. I used to do a lot, and then I realized that a lot was really not needed. I just need to do something to keep my brain occupied while I'm like staying focused on what it is I'm trying to do. Um, I've also taken the pressure off of like getting to my DR, and when that happens, it feels like it's one of those things where I've learned everything I needed to. I found things that work and that don't work. And now it's just a matter of when it will work. And like there just isn't any pressure of when it will happen. I just know that it will. Like the certainty of it is so strong that like I just kind of feel disconnected from like I don't care that I've been on my shifting journey for whoever knows how long, like 2.5 years or whatever. Um, it just doesn't seem to matter because I'm just like, I could just script a DR where I have 1 hour is 1 year here, or 1 hour here is 1 year there. And then I'll get all 3 of my years I've been trying to shift back in 3 hours. Oh no. You know,
Oh, that's a cool way to look at that. I haven't even thought about it like that.
that's
That's
how I
like,
because I was really like, I'm a person who can't stand not seeing results and can't not stand not being good at something. Like the fact that I've been on shit, like I post consistently, I do this every day. Like I really dedicate like my life to trying to figure out how to do it and do it successfully and do it the way I want to do it.
mhm.
And I just accept that that takes time, just like with any skill. Like if you're trying to learn a language, you're not going to learn a language in 6 months or a year. You're not going to be able to do it. Some people might, but not everybody will.
Yeah,
So
it's all
I'll just,
about practice and consistency and being within your own time, I guess, is like
mhm.
that's why I really think that like I really think it's so beneficial to listen to everyone's different experiences. Like I learn a lot listening to your experiences. I learn a lot listening to Caitlin's experiences. Like I learn from writing down my own experiences.
Same.
And it's like I just think it's really cool. Like everyone
Mhm.
has different things that they go through. Everyone has different reasons for doing things. Everyone has different feelings. Everyone has different and I just think that that's really like I'm not the best at like coming up with words, but like that's the coolest thing I think that's just so cool. Like it makes me happy.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think reality shifters are a completely different breed in the best possible way.
Yeah.
And I just love hearing about other people's experiences. It helps motivate me in times where because I'm not perfect. Like I put out that I've got like a lot of positivity, but I definitely like I am a chronic self-doubter, overthinker. I like gaslight myself out of every experience I have in this reality, let alone trying to expand my consciousness to experience other ones. But honestly, you're actually the reason that I got the confidence in my shifting journey last year and got to where I am. You gave me a shifting reading last January to reach out and have
Oh
shifting
my
friends and like be
I
god.
more out. and more open about my
I remember
experiences
that.
and stuff. And that gave me like the courage to post videos just talking about my journey and actually talk to people and have people talk to me and help me build up my really positive community that I have on Shift Talk that
Oh
gives me the
no.
platform to talk.
Okay. Sorry, it started glitching, but now it's
No,
good. Sorry.
you also glitched for a second. You're fine. But honestly, like I have a lot of my confidence because of you, because you told me to just own my shit and make shifting friends
That makes
and
me want to cry. Let me just cry. I can't do it.
like
That makes
it's
me want to cry.
and
I'm
hearing
remembering
other people's
everything.
experiences help reaffirm my own experiences that I have and just like it's been exactly a year, I think. I think you got me that reading on like January 16th or something last year. And look where we
That's
are now. I've had
crazy.
5
This is
shifts this
no,
month.
this is insane. Dude, let me look up. I gave it to you on Instagram.
I think so, yeah.
I need to find it. I think so too. Let me see.
But yeah, a year later and I've had lots of shifts and this month alone I've had like 5 ungrounded shifts. So
I think Sandy's
That's
also the reason
literally
I'm
insane.
motivated to shift again.
do you guys can I tell you what I made to make my I'm so ready to shift to my DR. I have this little thing. Shifted read me.
Aww.
And it's literally
I
what to
love
do when
that.
so I don't have to think. It is literally what to do when you shift back. And then I have everything I need to do. And then I have questions to answer for science. And then just some questions that I can answer really quickly, like yes or no's. Like I don't have to put a lot of details. And then I did some tarot
I
readings for
love
first
that.
impressions so I can see if those are accurate when I come back or not. And this made it feel like I am now inevitable. This will be filled out soon
Aww.
as soon as
That
I
is
finished
such
it.
a good idea.
That is a really good idea, and I think I'm gonna pull from that because I really like that. Oh my god.
It helped because I was so worried, like you said earlier, like coming back and being disappointed or like worried about anything. And this is like, no, like look at how excited you are to come back and like answer all these questions and now you know what to do and you don't even have to think. You can just shift back and then immediately you just have it all written. You already prepared yourself. Just follow the line.
I love that, and I actually think that I'm going to create like a page in my or not a page, but like a chapter in my one of my journals tonight and like kind of recreate that because that is such a
Yeah,
good
I
idea.
want to too. That's such a good idea.
I'm trying
Oh
to
my
see
god,
if
what
I
if we
want
all
to
fill it out tomorrow?
what it
I
like
literally,
no, we're all gonna come back and we're gonna be like, oh shit, we all shifted. That's gonna be crazy.
I'm taking a whole day off work the day I shift. If I shift on
Oh,
a day that I work,
so
I'm
real.
calling out work.
Agreed. Yeah.
Like I think especially like if you spent like this is I also agree with that. If I spend like a significant amount of time in my DR, I will also
Mm-hmm.
call out work the next day
Yep.
because that is just like how am I gonna like I
I
can't
would
even
need the
focus
day.
on
Like I wouldn't be able to go to work. Like I will be able to eventually, but my first 24 plus grounded hour shift where I'm literally walking around like, no,
Yup.
I'm legit here until I decide to go back. I'm calling out of work. I'll probably be on TikTok live all day.
It's my wand.
Shifting routine?
Yeah, but like, do we really need to go over that?
I was gonna
I
say, LOL, what's that for my
Yeah, I
shifting
don't have
routine?
one.
Me
Yeah.
neither. I don't even know why I included that. I was just like, oh, maybe like I don't know. I don't have one really
Some
either
people
anymore.
do have shifting routines. Like I do a daily tarot reading for like my daily shifting reading, and I've got like a 6-card spread that I do like every day, but it's not really a shifting routine. It's more something that I just do to keep me invested in
Right.
my goal.
Right. I think my shifting routine is channeling, and then if I feel like I want to
Yeah.
shift, I'll go do it.
Yep.
Like that's so. I mean, I like to count like that personally.
Yeah, same. I like to count. I like the word method technically because it's just adding in an affirmation every 10. And I like that.
Yeah, I do that
You know?
too. I feel like my routine is literally affirmations and counting.
Yes, same.
That's it. Caitlin's like, what is that?
What's that?
Doesn't
No,
do that.
I literally just intend and that's it. Sometimes I put on like a certain ambiance. Like I'll listen to certain music that reminds me of Ashton, or there's this thing on YouTube that's, Sandy, you might have come across it as a supernatural shifter,
Probably.
but like the supernatural ambiance, and it's
An Impala.
yeah.
Yeah. Well,
I've
listen
used
to it
that
all the
before.
Yep.
Yeah. But I kind of use that to just go to sleep.
Honestly, it's nice. But there's also another one in the Impala where they like are yelling at each other. I don't know
Oh,
if
that's
you
crazy.
Yeah, it's literally it's like classic rock with the like very low, and then it's like the ambiance of rain in the Impala and it like driving, but then there's like Sam and Dean like arguing back and forth. It's actually kind of like puts
Kind of
you in the
amazing.
yeah, it's kind of cool.
Huh. I'll check it out.
Yeah, that one's pretty fun. No, you
Do you
won't. You're
guys
not gonna
lay in the starfish position?
I like the starfish position.
I like the starfish position. Like that's the way that I can disconnect from my body.
Same.
Valid.
I'll say I just go a little bit. Everything's just barely not touching. But I also have a husband that shares a bed, so I have to be somewhat courteous sometimes.
Wait, Sandy, you're full on like this?
Like, yeah.
That's amazing.
Too, and I always felt a little silly, but I was like, I genuinely feel like it actually would help to like just full on out.
It does help for me personally. I mean, it's just like it's faster to detach that way. It's not that it like is better. It's just it's faster.
Yep.
That's amazing.
For me, I don't know.
I'm just like curled up in a ball, so I'm doing kind of the opposite.
I don't like to lay on my sides when I shift, and the reason for that is because whenever I have shifted, I've turned to my side. So I like to be on my back to prepare to turn.
Same.
I don't know.
I will say every time I've woken up, it's also been on my side. So I'm like, if I'm laying straight, and I know I'm laying straight, if I feel my head at a different angle, I know I shifted. Wake up, open your eyes. You got this.
Good point.
Yeah,
good point. I'll try it.
You should try it. Fucking Caitlin's gonna try this, and then she's gonna wake up tomorrow morning. Haha, shifted.
Well, didn't Caitlin say she shifted both times that she decided to shift, and just like the first time, yeah, I'm gonna do this, and then you shifted, and then you took a break, and then you did it again. Like, yes.
Well, because she really does intend every time, because she makes jokes. She's like, haha, yeah, I'm gonna shift, and then
haha, I'm gonna shift right now.
Just kidding. And then she'll literally go, I'm gonna shift tonight, and then I wake up the next morning, she's like, I shifted.
Yeah.
It's really when you like really want to, you do.
Yeah. But then if there's any part of me that's like hesitant, I won't do it.
Yeah. I can't wait to shift because like
I love that we just all talked about our experiences and we're like, I can't wait to shift though. Like
well, because like the thing is like I want to be in my DR for, I'll take 5 minutes. I don't care. But like, I want to be in there for a long enough to like experience a day of that life.
Yep.
Obviously, at least. But like,
that's my goal. I'm like, I just want 24 hours. Is that so much to ask for? Literally. I really don't feel like it is. 24 grounded hours, that's nothing. That's fine.
It literally is nothing. And I'm like, I just want to go. I want to go to class. Okay, I want to go learn how to do some potions or something and fly on a broomstick, literally fly on one, and then I want to like hang out with my boyfriend and like we're like studying and he reads me a book, and then we have my cat, my black cat, and she's just like right here and he's on this side, and then we're just like chilling, he's reading me a book, and then super fun times. That's like all I want. Amongst other things, and Caitlin just gave me a look, but I'm not gonna say anything dirty on this episode.
On this episode, maybe the next one.
Oh, don't even get me started. I got my first NSFW memory, and it was one of the most intense memories I've ever gotten. So
I had a lucid dream. I had a NSFW lucid dream of Mateo the other night that like literally was so vivid and like lucid dreamy. It was weird.
Gagged. Nope, I got my memory and I had immediately had to jump on a work call afterwards. And I was like, this is not the time or the place for this. None of this. I'm sitting here shooketh right now. Hello?
Do you guys feel kind of floaty and weird right now?
Yeah.
Do you feel like you're gonna shift?
Yes,
Like,
literally. This happens every time I talk to other shifters, though. I feel like that's something that shift talk maybe has like driven us to not talk to one another, because every time shifters talk to one another, all of a sudden the energy is so crazy high. And like, this has been my experience constantly, where if you talk to other shifters, even just on video call, people end up shifting that night every time.
Yeah.
Like mini shifts, DR memories, period. So
It is gonna be us tonight. Me and Caitlin talk about like Mateo and Ashton so often, to the fact where I think that if I when I shift to my Hogwarts CR and I see Mateo IRL, I'm actually going to like not be able to talk like here. Like I'm just gonna shut down.
No, you will though, because it's like that's your everyday life there, and you're just gonna immediately take that form.
oh, see,
No,
and
but I'm here. Like when I come back here, I think I'm gonna go into hermit mode and be like,
you're never going to be able to see any edits, anybody talk about it ever again,
I already
forever.
I already can't. It's too hard. I feel just very caffeinated right now. Hold on. I don't think I can do this.
This might be our most unhinged episode.
Sorry, I brought the chaos.
In the
It happens every time.
It's so good. This is also, I feel like this is the most natural episode. We've been very
I think so too.
raw
right now.
He literally was like, I'm going to actually reread my script tonight and try the pillow method and just see what the fuck happens.
No, I actually, well, yes, good idea. But I have, I already have something lined up. I'm going to do the Raven method. I'm going to use All You Near's Raven method 2.0 because
yeah, I love that one. That's what I've been using recently.
I think I saw you post that. Because I was gonna say I saw someone post that, and I think it was on your account. I can't remember though. I think it was
probably.
Because I usually use the normal one, but
I used her new one, and I really, really liked. I had 5 or like I kept having in and out of my DR when I was using it the first time, like 5 or 6 different times, and I was like, I was so close. I just kept talking myself out of it.
Yeah, I'm gonna use it for sure because it has the pull method, like shifting method in it too, and I'm gonna fall asleep intending to shift using this. Yes. And I think I'm going to. But if not, if that doesn't happen, and if I wake up in the middle of the night, I'm going to do the wake back to sleep method.
Yep.
That's just what I'm gonna do. Very excited.
Wait, what is the pillow method?
You read your script and then you put it underneath your pillow. And that's your intention. My thought process is like, if I read my script, I hadn't done this, like that was the first method I ever heard of actually.
I used to do that, actually.
I used to do it too.
Yep. And I just like, I did it like my first time, and ironically, every time I did it, I had a mini shift to my MCU DR. So I don't know what made me stop doing it, but I was like, that's so silly. You need to do more stuff than that, I guess is what I told myself. So I've only done it like one other time, and that time I also mini shifted to my DR, and then I just stopped doing it again for no reason.
I feel like it's a really good reminder of your intention. So maybe you can incorporate that every night. I just don't have a physical script for this DR.
I made this one. I actually made this one really pretty, or I tried to make it pretty. It's not actually pretty, but you know, I did attempt. I put a tree on it. I've got Once Upon a Time. It's, oh my God. It's a thing. I have a boat I drew myself for Killian. Look, see, it's a thing. I did a thing. This is my family and a little turtle.
Oh, wow.
So it's not like involved really. It's just I have a lot of plot changes, lore changes, but
I love that. I need to get better.
To write when I came back. Like my whole purpose of having a physical script was this is your way to journal and have a journal because you actually have something to journal about when you shift back to from your DR to your CR. So
I have a lot of shifting journals, but like none of them are like actual scripts except for my Stranger Things DR one, and I didn't even finish it in the journal. I really do feel insane.
It's because we're all buzzy. We all just exchanged a lot of energy there.
I know.
I feel very floaty. I feel like I'm out of my body right now.
Same.
Thank you guys so much for joining us on episode 4. And I want to thank our guest, Hannah, for joining us. She was such a delight.
Such a good time.
Of course, anytime. It was so much fun having you on the podcast. And honestly, like, super motivated now. This was so fun. I just want to let you guys know we are still posting once a week. If you have anything you want us to talk about in specific, just leave that in the comment section. And then next episode is going to be shifting tools and do you need them? So thank you so much for joining us. And remember, life happens.
So shift realities.
Bye.
Bye.
Asta.
That was good.